Thank you for being here. Please feel free to just subscribe right away. Feel free to click on the like button as well as on the notification bell so that anytime I do post any new content, guys, you're updated immediately. So this is my Sunday weekly analysis, and how it goes is every Sunday I just look at the charts and give my views on where I think the market is going to be going to. And as usual, I'm going to begin with gold. And we can see from last week. So gold last week was generally bearish, but then towards the end of the week, on Friday, we kind of actually we were bullish, but on Friday we now kind of started dropping. Let me look at the lower time frame so that we can see this a bit better. So we can see technically the whole week we were bullish, and then on Thursday and Friday we began to drop. Okay, so which is fine. When I'm looking at it right now, let me first look at the weekly again. So what I'm anticipating when I look at the weekly, I mean this rejection here, this pullback here, I feel like we may continue to pull back some more. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually considering that we are going to literally start seeing gold begin to shift lower. So I'm actually anticipating the market will open lower and possibly attempt to take out these lows below here, or just retrace a bit before we push up and then continue to the downside. So let me look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so we can see we took out this previous high on the 4 hour, and then we dropped, and we are still looking like, we may see a bit of a push up, but then I feel like we are ready to descend and scale the lows about 80 pips to, like, let's say 350 pips. So I'm on market open, I'm actually bearish. Okay, but when we look at it on a higher time frame, this is gold is still in a correction from July 2020. So we've been in this very extended correction. Okay, but we are bullish long term. So yes, I believe we shall open lower, okay, this week, and we may see us push down some more, 1756, 1752, like I said, and maybe even 1723 level, yeah, before we continue to the upside. So I'm bearish this week on gold. Obviously, if anything changes, I'll be sure to let you guys know. I usually post my setups daily, not daily, like during the week. So possibly I'll post my setups tomorrow when the market is open. So let's look at a different pair, US 30. So US 30 has been bullish, guys. We know that US 30 has been bullish, and we retested a specific zone, and we just look like we may want to continue to the upside. This is the weekly time frame. We may push lower, but we are bullish. Okay, so if we push lower, I'm anticipating we'll retest the 35,475 level. If we do, which is about 400, 500 points. So yeah, I mean, the last time we were at that level was what, in December. So I do feel like, we took out this high, retested, tried to retest up, but I feel like we are now tapering to the downside. So I'm also bearish on US 30. Someone the other day asked me about gold and US 30, if they correlate, if they're inversely correlated. And my answer was technically they move in opposite directions, but you find that, depending on what's happening, they will then they do often a lot of times move in the same direction, but just at a different rate. Yeah. Not to say that they are correlated positively. Generally, they tend to move in opposite directions. But yeah, I'm looking at US 30 as well, just like gold, and it's looking bearish unless something happens. Of course, we have some rejection downside here. Maybe on the lower time frame, we can see this a bit better. We can see we took out this low here, or we attempted to take it out. Actually, we did. So we may push up, but guys, even if we do, okay, so this would be my ideal. I mean, we may push up a bit and then drop. Okay, so that's just what I'm thinking. I'm looking at us maybe targeting the nearest target, let's say, is 35,588, which is, like I said, 380 pips away. Okay, so we may push up, but guys, I'm bearish on the short term. But remember, long term, we're still bullish. Okay, but that's what it is right now. So bearish on US 30. Let's look at AUD USD. AUD USD as well. Okay, so this was my last week setup. We did almost get to this 0.73217 point. If you guys can see, I dropped a chart in my Telegram group, and we got to the 73137. So we're like 8 pips from this target, okay, and then it dropped. So not too bad, okay, because we weren't too far from our target. And I guess anyone who actually looked at this, when I dropped the chart this past week in my group and took the trade, you possibly did make good money. Now, right now, we have kind of like, retested a previous level of structure, okay? And so let me just, this is old stuff and may not be relevant right now. So we have like broken structure here. I'm anticipating that we may push up a bit, but I feel like there's potential to drop. Okay, and again, we may drop a bit and then bounce off that zone and then continue. So this is what I'm looking in terms of the path. There are two scenarios. We may drop to the 0.7187 zone and then retest the same zone before we continue on to the downside, or we may push up and drop. But generally, I'm bearish on, at least on market open. Okay, I'm anticipating we'll drop a couple of points, bounce off that zone, maybe even retest a bit higher up here. But long term, in the next couple of days when market opens, I'm anticipating a break to the downside. So that's AUD USD. AUD JPY, same drill. We broke structure there and we are still looking bearish. So still looking bearish, and I'm seeing our first target will be about 60 to 70 pips away, which is at the 81.606, and likely will bounce off, push up, and then continue to the downside. So again, path of least resistance to me looks like this. Okay, that's the movement that I'm anticipating, and let's see if that plays out. So bearish on AUD JPY. So let's look at a GBP pair. So GBP USD is one of the common pairs that I do like to trade. I did anticipate that we would push up and pull back, and that is exactly what happened. This is also a setup I did for last week. So technically, we are bullish on GU. However, we have retraced. So you can see we did push up here from the 12th of January. That was last week. That was on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or it was on Tuesday? We pushed up all the way to 1.37488. We did not quite get to this high, which is about 40, 50 pips away. But I did, and like if you see this, I drew this out and then I anticipated a pullback. So we've actually pulled back, but we've actually pulled back a bit lower. And what I'm anticipating is we may continue to push down and then you'll see us bounce off before we continue to the downside. Now we will get to this level, okay, but we do have levels of structure below here that need to be retested. We have liquidity lying below here. So now I'm beginning to think that we will definitely, bounce off, and possibly, how do I do this? I'm trying to avoid drawing this again. I'm feeling lazy. So yeah, so this is where we are at. And I'm like, okay, let's possibly, push down, take out liquidity before we push up. So that's really what I'm looking at. I'm looking at us coming to the 1.36431 level, which is not too far from where we're about 30 pips away, and then bouncing off that zone and literally dropping, okay, before we then push up. What we'll be trying to do is to just take out these lows here and maybe this one here, and then continue to the upside. So bearish when market opens. I don't know, the market is looking bearish. But then again, I always like to say we like to see what happens when the market opens the first couple of hours. Now, GJ has been in some distribution kind of phase, and I am anticipating a drop. Okay, I am anticipating a drop to the downside. We did, retest a previous level of demand here. We pushed up, we're retesting a previous level of supply, and I believe we're going to push down. So that means I think we are targeting, our next target would be around 154,902. So we will likely retest a previous, maybe the average price here, but I'm looking at us retesting the 154,877, which is about was it 100 pips away? What did I see? About 100 pips away. So that's what I'm anticipating. Okay, unless the push up is really aggressive, I don't think we are pushing up just yet. I think we're going to start seeing GJ drop. Okay, which now makes me look at gold again, and I'm like, okay, it's possible. Yes, we are dropping. No, my bias is the same. Okay, so then let me look at GBP, JPY, possibly looking the same as GU. Actually, this was GJ, so GBP USD. Oh yeah, I looked at it actually. I did. So literally, GBP pairs are looking the same, bearish. AUD pairs. I mean, I wouldn't say pairs because I only looked at AUD USD. Maybe if I look at AUD NZD, like a cross pair or something. But as you can see, looking very bearish, even more bearish than AU. So anticipate that we are going to retest. This is AUD NZD, the 1.05581 zone. Take out the liquidity, but we are looking very nice in this kind of range distribution of sorts, and we've been in this range for quite a while. Okay, quite a while, guys, since December. Okay, almost 3 weeks. So let's look at the euro pair. So I'm going to look at euro USD because it's one of the most heavily traded pairs, and you can see this again is a setup that I marked out last week, and it went according to plan. We did retrace. We didn't quite get to the. So let me just zoom in so you guys can see my drawing. I'd anticipated that we would drop to the 1.14314, but we didn't really get there. And usually what I say is, even if your initial bias direction is not correct, as long as you have the general view, you'll find that your price will eventually get there. So the idea is not to get the exact direction 100% of the time, because obviously you can't anticipate what will happen price minute by minute, but you need to have an idea. So for me, I had kept these levels as levels of potential for the price to get to, and we can see that we actually this is on the 13th. We actually took out this initial high 1.14754 from this level here, and then we began to drop. So we are still looking like we could drop some more. There is potential to like retest this zone up here, the 1.414356. But right now, even if we do retest, anticipating we are gunning for the 1.13758 zone. So euro is also looking bearish, but long term, I really feel, we broke structure here. Okay, we broke structure here and push to the upside. And yes, we are retracing. We are possibly going to try and come back to this zone before we continue onwards. So right now we likely open bearish, but I'm anticipating that we will push up. So I'm thinking this could be a scenario. Okay, and this will be to take out these highs, and then from there we can then say, okay, fine. You can see which we took out this high here and then dropped. So if I look at it on the long term, we've been in this very interesting zone, and I feel like this could have been an accumulation of sorts, and there's potential to maybe even drop lower before we head up. But long term bullish, short term, at least when market opens, I believe will be bearish. That's Euro USD. Let's look at Euro CAD. I haven't traded Euro CAD in a while, but for some reason we are on kind of like a retracement. We did retest a previous level of demand, and we've been struggling to push up and just putting in lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So the trend really has been bearish until this point here. Now we didn't exactly take out this high, so we are still in bearish territory. Now if we do take out, excuse me guys, if we do take out this high here, then I think we'll begin to see EuroCAD pushing up. But for now, let me look at the weekly. There's a lot of rejection downside. EuroCAD has been in this zone for long. Like, it hasn't broken this structure since 2017. And it looks like it's going to try and retest, let's say the 1.392 level. The more near term is, the 1.42100. But I feel like, I'll be waiting to see what happens. That's like about, actually, it's quite some 135 points. Yeah, that's possible. So weekly, so we're still looking bearish, like on a retracement. There's liquidity here. We are likely looking to take out that liquidity. So I don't know why all these pairs are kind of looking bearish, but either way, I see here those are rejection as well, and we may scale higher when we're scaling higher lows. So we may actually even just push up to the 1.44823 level. Okay, before we go down nicely. But if we don't, that means then we are definitely very, very bearish. But you can see weakness in the euro. And then, so on that note, maybe let me look at euro. Let me look at euro AUD. That means that euro AUD could be buying. Could be, yeah. Kind of looking like, now this is, again, I had marked out my chart. Now I had anticipated price would come all the way back down. It didn't quite get there, and just went back to this supply zone here. So we are looking bullish on euro AUD, and I do anticipate we will get to the 1.61757, which is about 300 pips away. So there's room for euro AUD to climb. If I go on the daily, it's even looking more convincing that we are in bullish territory. There's a lot of liquidity lying out here. So we may not even go all that way up, but I feel like this is a key zone that may be taken out when we broke structure here in November. Excuse me, guys, in November. I feel like we didn't complete the really nice bullish move, and we did side retracing, and now we may attempt to now just get to these highs. So that's Euro AUD. Let me look at a CAD pair and an NZD pair. So let's say CAD JPY. CAD JPY at this point in time looking bearish. Yeah, I mean, we did make this really impulsive move down. Then we kind of attempted to break structure here. And I'm like, okay, we may try to come back to the 89,946 zone. So I don't know. The market, like I said, guys, is looking bearish. So this is 100 pips, 90 pips down. So let's see. NZD JPY possibly looking. So sorry guys, that's my daughter. So when it comes to NZD JPY, we may begin to see price shifting up because we kind of broke structure here. Okay, we dropped and began to scale. So we may see NZD going up, potential to retrace to the 76.681 and then we push up. So I'm kind of bullish on NZD JPY. Let me just look at CAD JPY again because they're both correlated to the same pair. Yeah, we see this break of structure, then a really big retrace before we broke structure here. So actually, when I look at this again, we may continue to be bullish on CAD JPY. Okay, so if we don't retrace down, okay, this will be a clear demand zone. I mean, so if we do retrace down, rather, we'll get to this demand zone and then continue up. So long term, we are bullish on CAD JPY as we are on NZD JPY. Okay, so my take again is we will come take out, retest the demand zone there around the 76,684 and then push up. Because really, with this bearish candle on the daily and I guess also on the weekly, we are looking bearish on a very, very short term. So that's what I'm seeing. So guys, I think that's it for today and this afternoon. If this video has been of value, please be an encouragement. Please like and subscribe and then share with anyone who you think may find, may gain some value as well from the content. So guys, I just want to wish you as well a happy week ahead, happy trading week ahead. Make money, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.